Alright, we're back after interruptions. Let's see, what other parts we got in here? Another one, something heavy. Alright, what do we got? Okay, these are the old style oil lines. The really early stuff's made out of copper. Later stuff's made out of steel. These are all copper. So these are for VLs. Looks like it's got kind of pretty well pinched off right here, which means it's not too good. So the way you can kind of fix that a little bit is to pull this back a little bit and squeeze on it, and if you're lucky you might be able to save it. So let's see if we can do something with that. This one here looks like it's pretty nice. Not sure what line this is. If I had to guess, I would say it's the hand oil pump. Goes on top of the case. Unless you have a video, you don't know what that means. Alright, let's see what we can do over here. So the first thing I do when you got a pinch is you got to get the pinch out of it. So that means fold it back straight. That'll open it up a little bit. And then it's really fat this way, thin this way. So you put in the vise and squeeze on it. If you're lucky, it'll go back around. It can also pinch off and you're done. So right now it's pretty thin, so it really has no flow anyway, so it's kind of garbage. But being copper, it's pretty thin, so I'm going to try to just lay it on the vise here and just push on it. So I'm just kind of laying it back out straight. You want to be pulling on it at the same time as you're pushing, because you're trying to straighten out the compression right there. You don't want to compress it down in here though, make it flatter. We're trying to avoid that. So I got it actually has opened up a little bit, so I'm going to do that again a little bit. So most of the bending's going on right here. Okay. So it's still pinched in pretty heavy right here. Now if I can get the line pretty straight, I can actually run a bar through the thing and straighten it that way. And that might be what you have to wind up doing, is going to pull straight, square it back up, and then come back on it. So I'm kind of leaning toward doing that to save the line. Okay, let's try this again. See, right here is the problem area, and it's still negative there, so I'm not sure if it's going to come out. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and try to straighten it out again. Let my light go off. Okay, so now we're going to put in the vise over here and squeeze on a little bit. This vise has a hole in it. I don't want that vise. Let's go rid of this vise over here. This vise is smooth all the way around the inside. The other one has some holes in there where the jaws are on it. So right in here, this one's smooth all the way. So if you look at this, I'm going to blow this up. So we're going to try to flatten this out without squeezing it right here where my finger is. That's where the pinch is at. Trying to avoid damaging that. So let's just put a little bit of pressure on here and see what happens. It's definitely got a pinch in there. Do this again over here. It's actually helping, but that is a low spot. So you're trying to, see, I'm not watching when I'm viewing them. So we're trying to make this more even and round, so where it's pooched out real flat, I'm trying to squeeze just in that one area. So we're kind of just coming in like that. You got to be real careful because you can pinch the line real easy and put big flat spots in here also. So the line's getting pretty a lot more rounded than what it was, which is good. This line's got a pretty bad buckle through here, and usually stock lines are not buckled. So I'm thinking this was bent. This is not supposed to be at this angle probably. It's probably supposed to be straighter than what it is. It's just damaged, would be my guess. Like I said, it's still going to want to crease here and here. These two flat spot areas, but it's a lot better than it was. It's actually opened up at a flow right now. It is runnable the way it is. It's definitely still got a crease right here, which where the crease is what you need to compress on to get that out of it. But the problem is it's very easy to make it worse too. Copper bends real easy, so don't want to get too carried away on your pressures, obviously. Gonna work at multiple angles. So you're hoping it comes back up. So, all right, well, I got that pretty good, I think. Without having on the bike, I don't know where it's supposed to go, so we're not sure about that. Now, when you bend this, you want to have an actual mandrel bender you put on this to bend it correctly. The problem is those flat spots are already in there, and those are going to just buckle in, and even with a bender, it's going to buckle on you. So I wonder if I can get a screwdriver in there. So if you take a Phillips screwdriver, again, it goes in there all the way. So you can get in there and push on what you need to push on this thing, which is up in this area here. So I can probably go to a bigger one. Bigger one. There we go. So I'm going right to there. So I'm just going to rotate the screwdriver and I'm in here, and hopefully I can knock out some of these low spots in here just by doing this a little bit. So I'm just rotating and pushing in at the same time. You gotta be careful you don't screw up your taper over here, which is what's going to start happening. Be careful about that. Okay, need to get right to there. I'm about a quarter sure I need to be to. There we go, I got through that area. So I'm all the way up to here now probably. So I'm trying not to damage this flare up in here. It's hard not to do that. Right there is my bad spot. That'd be right to here. Right on the bad spot right there. So I'm putting pressure on that area right now, trying to make it round again. All right, got a lot of that out of there now. I don't think I've damaged the taper too much. It is a little bit damaged, but put a nut on there. If you put the fitting up on there and tighten it back up, it should help it. You should try to probably flare a little bit bigger because see how small it is now. Try to flare that a little bit and come back and put on a fitting would definitely help it a lot. Okay, I think now it's definitely very runnable now. We got most of it out. So that crease that was in there now is pretty well gone. It's still weak though, so if you bend it, it'll crease over real quick on you. But so you got to use a mandrel bender definitely. So that was the outside. Now this side over here, it's got a crease right there. But we got the same problem. It's flattened out. You see really how bad it is through here. Let's do the same thing. Let's try to lay it flat. Straighten it out a little bit. And let's try to compress it and get it where we need to be. Now the nut won't go past it, so that's a good sign it's not what it needs to be. It's very soft. It's flattened here and then flattened here, so I get double problems. Big wad of grease right there where you're trying to feel it. See, grease really highlights where the crease is at right there. It also highlights the high spot right there where I've been working on it. Straighten it out a little more by bending on it. I got a big low spot here. It's in a curve, so it's hard to get to flatten on it here. Make sure you're not doing damage over here, which I probably am a little bit. It's very soft. Okay, you know you're getting close because the nut goes past it now. That's a good sign. It's definitely got a big high spot right there. Two lows right next to it. It's the top of the triangle. It's probably better just try peening on that with a hammer than yeah, kind of knocked it out pretty good there. It makes it a lot more rounded through there. See, the hammer, you can hit it right where you need to hit on it. You don't have access to it in the vise as much. It's called metal forming. See, there's nothing square in it to go against. Okay, it's a lot more rounded than it was. Kind of work this thing around in different areas. Definitely a high spot there. So you go from high to high over here. It's 90 degrees apart, so it's hard to fix things. Alright. That goes on there easily now. Let's try a little screwdriver trick here. Put it right to there, which is get toward the end. These are right where the creases are right in there too. Probably pushing right there a bit. Yep. That high, I'm making a high spot right there by pushing on it. Okay, so we're making a dimple where we don't want it. Something around to push against right here. Put the metal back down where it belongs. Gotta fix your damage there, see? Alright. So now our line goes back and forth pretty easy. So now I got a line we can work with. This is probably a feed line off the oil pump, I would imagine. Down to the oil pump in the tank. I'm guessing that's what this line is. Anyway, my 45, it kind of wrapped around the front of the motor. I'm not sure on the VL how it's routed. It probably does the same basic thing, I bet. But anyway, this is a lot better than it was. So you can see how it's not all collapsed like it was. So you can clean this up a little bit more. Bend it to fit the bike correctly without getting creased in it, and you got a nice little usable oil line to stock. So this will be a 90-year-old oil line we're dealing with here. It's 30s. So a little bit of metal forming, and you can do a lot of stuff with a hammer or a screwdriver and a vise. And people call me a hammer mechanic. Damn right, I know how to use it too. So, all right, there you go. We saved that one. And this one here was a good shape, so we didn't have to save this one. So we're good. All right, that's it for that.